Okay, so it's time. So have you ever tried learning a new language? I mean, I'm Yoruba. I think I can speak English, obviously. I've met people who could speak Hausa. I've met people who could speak Igbo and Yoruba fluently. Now, think of programming like that. That is exactly what programming is. So, in this programmer's part, so this course is for beginners, people who are genuinely interested in programming. If you are genuinely interested in programming, or you want to learn tech so that you can start developing websites and start your own tech business basically, or you just want to know about tech so that nobody can call black for you as white, or you want to be able to get tech jobs, this is the course for you. Because it's not just a course. I'm personally going to be facilitating this course, and it's not just a course. Trust me, it's not just a school. This is an internship training. I'm going to be teaching you one on one from beginning to the end and making sure that you follow the right path. This is an highly intensive practical course, uh, web and data programming, because we are learning how to program the web. And for everybody that programs the web, first thing you must learn is HTML. You must learn HTML. HTML is the language for building web pages. Okay? Remember how I told you learning programming is just like learning a new language. It's just like learning to speak another language. Okay? So now you begin to learn how to speak in this language. That is what we do. So the first basis, trust me, this is the ground zero. If you jump, it will always come back to bite you. Okay, so HTML is the first thing we are going to learn. Let's see how to build web pages. Then we move on to CSS. Okay, CSS is the language for styling web pages. So for some people, they have money to wear clothes, but they don't have style. You get me? So this is where CSS comes in. So CSS helps you to style that page that you've built. CSS helps you to, make it look classy, basically. That's what CSS does. Okay. Then we move on to JavaScript. These are things that a lot of you have been hearing. JavaScript is, for me, the first official programming we will be doing actually. Okay, so JavaScript is like the language for programming web pages. Okay, take notes. Let's go back a bit. HTML is for building the page, CSS is for styling the page, JavaScript is for programming the page. So take note. You must learn this in that sequence. Okay? Learning it in that sequence, and that's what we're going to be doing in class with me. Okay. There are two categories of students that join this program. People who meet me for the first month. For the first month, we meet, we welcome ourselves to class and we do hands-on training. And the second set of people are people who are not chance to meet me physically, but you can still take this course completely 100% virtual online. And all students are in the same class, in the same forum. You guys get to discuss, you guys get to chat on our live portal. Okay, let's move on. Now that we know how to build a web page, then we begin to think about more things. And that is where PHP, SQL, Python, a lot of things, it just everything blows out of proportion. But one of the importance and advantages of this career course, this career path course, is that I will be guiding you personally on how to approach everything in the right sequence. So the moment we finish JavaScript, we head on to SQL. Okay. Now SQL is a language for accessing database. Big words. Don't worry. Database. Now that you can build a website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, then you have to think of data. So SQL is a language for communicating with database. SQL for different type of database. We'll be looking at this in details. Now we move on to something officially called back end. Okay, so everything we've been doing is kind of like the front end, while SQL is like the middleman. Then we have PHP, which is a language for the web server. Okay, so everything you are doing on the front end sometimes needs to communicate with the back end in order to manipulate data and present that data back to you. And one of such programming language is PHP. PHP is popular, it's a very popular web server language actually. So we'll be learning PHP for this purpose. Okay. Mm, 80% of all applications developed by FeniSAAS Technologies is based on PHP. So you sure know how important it is. Then we are going to be diving finally into Python because Python is a popular programming language. Now, one thing I want to tell you, secrets I want to tell you, because you watched this video to the end. The secret is at this point, there's literally no programming language you cannot work with. So I've seen people say, "Hey, I'm a Java developer. Hey, I'm a C++ developer." Really, I can be any of those simply because I know a particular programming language to the end. All programming languages follow the same pattern. They all have the same kind of structure. Like I told you, just always remember this. A programming language is like learning to speak a language. You already know how to speak, so speaking is not your problem. What you need to know how to do is how to speak in that particular language.